Nothing. See, your priority, and you're free to choose it, is your media is going to be more important than your man and your family. I don't know any men who actually have made themselves the kind of men you're talking about who are not going, they're number one. Their purpose is number two. You're number three. You're looking, basically, you look, the kind of man you're looking for would drive you up a wall. A beta male would allow a woman to be on top or be equal, and he's making all that money. I think you may have kind of figured what I was going to say.
Yeah.
But what makes you special? Where you can get this?
This to me was a really hard question to answer. Even now, I'm like, okay, what makes me special to get a 500K man? And of course, in my head, I'm like kind of tracking back to some of Kevin's videos, but he's never mentioned like what would make one woman special other than the fact that you have to be catering to being a housewife. So I'm like, I mean, I'm attractive, I'm cute, you know, I like to go to the gym, you know, I like to cook for my man, I like to clean for him, I like to cater to my man, you know, I want to listen to him after a long day of work. So I'm just like, I mean, those to me aren't like spectacular characteristics. I think a lot of women could do those, which I guess he answers now when he says, I'm not unique enough.
Well, I've listened to a lot of your things that you say, and you say that these men look for women that are attractive, take care of themselves, and are submissive. And I feel like I do hold a lot of those characteristics.
Okay, there are thousands of you.
Right.
So you're attractive, granted. Take care of yourself, granted. But there are also women who were raised to be first ladies, wives, not wanting to challenge. You want equality. You want your own identity. Then go work for marry. Then your man is the institution. Because you got to understand, if you have let's say you and I were married, and I'm making millions, and you're making what?
I would assume just as close to that.
No. Media correspondence, for whom?
Depends on where I land.
Right. For every Jeannie Mai, come on. Most of the journalists that I knew in school, they had to work free internships. Journalists are some of the brokest people in the world.
Oh, I know.
So let's not cap.
I am done. Why did Kevin say let's not cap? Kevin, ain't nobody capping with you, Kev. Ain't nobody capping with you. I know journalists are broke, but we are past that. We are past that phase. We getting paid, boo. We what is it? Book, busy, and paid. Okay? Don't play with me. Pay me.
Okay.
You're talking about trying to be in the top 1/10 of the 1%. Most journalists is broke as French toast. So, earning what? Before your big break?
Before my big break, I would say probably 50.
50. Baby girl, that's the kind of man, 50 to a man that's making 400. That's just over 10% of what he's making. It will cost more to hire the nannies. New child infant care is $2,000 a month. So if you had a 1 and a 3-year-old, you're looking at $3,000.
This logic to me right here is what's sometimes a little backwards, because it's like you guys are mad because I make 50K and want this man to make 500K, and I even said that I would be cool with staying home with my kids, but then you're gonna be like, oh, well, she just wants him for his money, and she's a gold digger. But now, if I actually want a career that could possibly pay me just as much as 500K soon, now I'm too ambitious because I don't want to just be a housewife. Just make it make sense for me, please. I'm looking for answers for real. Dead ass.
So my question, Kevin, though, is so because I've had a fork in the road where I either need to pick my career or pick whether I want to be a housewife.
Granted.
So it's getting into the rooms of being into the face of the men that I want to be in front of. Right? And I don't know how to kind of articulate what I'm trying to say, but it's more so like I've been in front of men that make a lot of money, and I feel like I could still do both at the same time.
Well, that's what
but still I have kids.
That's what you feel. And see, and I'm gonna just be dead honest with you. The leverage is on this side,
right?
Not yours. Both men will date you. Both men will sleep with you. Only neither will marry you.
I feel like he hesitated to say that one of them might marry me. So stand strong on your belief, Kev. Because it seemed like you were like, one of them might actually marry you though. Okay? Because look, I'm marryable.
That's just what it comes down to. Neither will marry you. So what it is what we haven't got to, you're coming from a place of, you're projecting fear, scarcity, and lack. That's why you need to have your career and everything else, because what if my marriage doesn't work? What if this? What if that? What if I get lost doing all this other stuff? So really, a man at this level would just be hiring you for your DNA. He'd be hiring you to impregnate you, for you to carry the child, to make the child, and then someone else will go raise that child while you're off being a media correspondent, fulfilling your purpose and dream. That's not what these men typically want. But let's be honest, do you really think that, are you really coming from a place where you think your marriage is gonna last for 40, 50 years?
Yeah, I truly do.
Okay, then why would you want someone else to raise your children?
I think I've seen my mom do both. So I'm assuming that I can also accomplish that.
How many children does your mom have?
Just me.
There we go. Ding, 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 ding. Only child syndrome. No baby girl.
Okay.
No. I mean, yes, you're an attractive woman, but that ain't enough. I mean, and what you're telling me, ma'am, if I put you in a room with these men, you fast realize how out of step with your competition you really are, just by the femininity these ladies exude, their willingness to be the first lady, versus you would more likely be over in a conversation with the men wanting to exchange opinions.
What are we talking about? What are we talking about over there? Okay. It's the government's fault? Got it. I have an opinion for that. No, I feel you, Kev. I do sometimes find myself in opinionated conversations, but I wouldn't say all the time. Not in every space, especially with men. Women should know their place, when to speak, when not to speak. I understand that. So we can agree to disagree, Kev. How about that?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that would make great sex. But no thank you. So you have to ask yourself a question. If that's most important to you, then you're talking about a completely different kind of man. You're talking about a man who's making closer to $50,000, $70,000 a year, if you're fortunate. Could you respect the man making that kind of money?
Respect a man making 50 to 40K a year. If he is ambitious enough to want to make more, and I know that Kevin has also done a video on this, guys, so don't jump down my throat, where he talks about like pushing men to do something, to be more or to have more than what they actually want to have, like they're satisfied. So again, I do like to date ambition. So if my man makes 50K now, but he's like, okay, I want to make this and this is what I want to do, and has plans and ambitions, I want to date him. That's who I want to date. I love ambition. Ambition is sexy, okay?
But you're also talking about a quality of life to where you making 50 he's making 70. Y'all not living in Buckhead. You're not driving BMW. You driving Honda Civics. You're not going to Hermes and Dior. Don't be going over shops in Buckhead. Yeah. Every now and then, y'all may be able to go to Papa though on your anniversary or something.
Right.
Can you really live that life?
I don't think so.
Exactly. I'm looking at you now. So the thing is, man, I feel so sorry for so many of our young sisters because you all want this inflated lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
And that's fine to want it, but the kind of men, you wouldn't want to date a man that's 45. But then who else is going to make the money? An athlete, entertainer, or a musician, or a D-boy?
Mm.
What this shows more than anything else is men and women that focus so much on who they are. And the world has let you guys do this on what you want, to where you've had to focus nothing on who the men actually are.
So, very valid point right there, Kev. Okay, Kevin Samuels, I agree. I agree that we do not listen to what men want, and we kind of just guesstimate what it is, or read it in a magazine probably written by women. But I'm listening. I took the time to listen to you. I've listened to past videos, and I'm applying. But you're right. Changing my mind about me having my career.
What the men actually want. So you don't mean to, but you're really dissing a whole group of men by pedestalizing this group of men, but you're not even giving these men what they want.
Right.
And sadly, so many of our sisters are stuck in this position because of the ego and the pride that comes along with what you're talking about. It's not as though, yes, there are women who can do both, but Jeannie Mai has no children.
Yeah.
And her first marriage failed miserably because she didn't want kids, and he did. He went off and got married and had kids.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then complicate this with being an only child kind of thing. A lot of moving parts there, man. A lot of moving parts.
Okay.
I think you need to take some real time to figure out really what you need, not what you want.
Okay.
What you want may be one thing,
Mm-hmm.
but what do you need? Because if your family are from Jamaica, I mean, it ain't like you grew up with a silver spoon in your mouth.
Mm-mm.
So why are you so bougie now?
You just, as I've gotten older, I've learned to spoil myself. So.
On whose money?
My own money.
Making $50,000 a year?
I mean, so during the day, I still work in real estate. And then, of course, as a media correspondent, I have to pick up my gigs on the weekends.
Okay. But it still nets to a certain amount of money.
Right.
How you spoiling yourself without the money?
Mm-hmm.
So I think spoiling yourself can be small things, but I think he automatically retracts to some sort of luxurious designer item. But when I spoil myself, like in my diet, if I'm spoiling myself, I'm probably having some cake occasionally, right? So when I spoil myself, like, I wouldn't consider spoiling myself my nails because I always have my nails done. But I mean, I bought myself a little Coach bag. That's a little spoil. I've taken a little day trip somewhere. That's a little spoil. I mean, that's to you, Kevin. It's not a lot. To you.
I'm a spoil